For the next 3 days, over 40 electoral bodies across the African Union are gathered here in Ghana to find solution to one key problem in our elections: rejection of ballots. But in the face of other pressing electoral challenges, especially electoral fraud and violence, some may ask why ECs are concerned about rejected ballots.
The African Union is of the view that the high number of invalid or rejected ballots present a significant challenge to electoral integrity and electoral outcomes across the continent. These votes, which fail to count due to improper marking or other assigned reasons, could effectively or potentially alter election outcomes, especially in closely contested races.
Although Ghana is moving down the scale, recording a 2.0% of rejected ballots in the 2024 elections compared to a 2.33 figure in 2020, Ghana's EC Commissioner Jean Mensah explains why we are unable to achieve a 0%.
We had done an audit after 2020. We did a nationwide audit to examine the factors for the high incidence of rejected ballots. And we noticed that, yes, one was based on voter illiteracy. People were not very conversant with how to vote. Secondly, we also had voters who would deliberately spoil their ballots because, and you notice that particularly in 2024, I think in the Boku constituency, we noticed that, for the parliamentary, we had over 6,000 rejected ballots, but for presidential it was 480. And so even then, even in 2024, we called our officers. We didn't have access to the ballots, but we called our officers, and what we learned was that it was, because there was some war, some conflict going on there, the residents were not satisfied with the candidates because they were coming from a particular tribe. And so you notice that, they picked the ballots all right, but they did not vote. And of course, that constitutes rejected ballots.
Guest speaker and former Chief Justice Sophia Akuffo has warned that the challenge must be addressed immediately before it degenerates into further political violence in subsequent elections.
The progress made thus far notwithstanding, then, there is still much to be done to address this pervasive issue on a continental level. The democratic process of elections on the continent is at risk of being undermined by the increasing incidence of invalid or rejected ballots. I therefore call on all our governments, electoral management bodies, and relevant stakeholders to renew collective efforts in responding to this pervasive threat.
Out of the two possible solutions on the table, a redesign of ballot papers to make them user-friendly and adoption of electronic voting, Electoral Commissioner for the Democratic Republic of Congo, Dennis Kadima, explains why electronic voting is a better option.
In Congo, my country, we already use electronic voting. Our voting is not manual anymore, and you can even see the number of, or the percentage of spoiled ballots is very little. It's 0.14%, so which means we are on track. Yeah.
Executive Director of the European Center for Electoral Support, Fabio Bargacchi, says the center is ready to intensify its technical support to the ECs to involve more technology in their work.
Coming out from the discussion we are having these days, illustrating the best practice on how to tackle these kind of issues with the rejected, invalid, spoiled ballots, including perhaps illustrating what are the possibility of using technology and technological devices or software applications in order to deal with the proper design, the proper distribution, the proper civic education activity, the proper training and capacity developments in order to try to prevent the increase of spoiled and rejected ballots.
The conference will end on Friday with an election of reps from the various countries into the AU committee. James Savage's report for Joy News.